It doesn't have 1,000 gallons, that's 400 gallons, but what it does have and it uses is smaller droplets of water, kind of like a pressure washer. And all that water comes out of here. Now that comes out at a high rate of pressure where you're going to use tiny droplets, and it's going to use that pressure to drive through the heat and get towards the seat of the fire. So walking around, you notice that it's a pretty small vehicle compared to our others. You know, this allows for less weight. Like we were talking about, for wildland fires, we're not going to be sinking. We can get deeper into wooded areas or anywhere we need to where we're not going to have troubles. And with that water, we're going to be able to stay on scene longer and put out the fires that we need if we are off base or on base on non-paved surfaces. Tanker 6.3 P-26 has 4,000 gallons of water. We used to have the 2,000 gallons, so this allows us to, like I said, with Stryker 1,500 gallons, we can only reservice that pretty much one time, and then we have to go and get more water with that tender. This one we can now reservice that vehicle at least twice and hopefully mitigate the scene really fast. You do have these big large diameter discharges. That's what kind of gives us the ability to fill those trucks with more water faster. So what's a little different with this is we have our two cross lays as well. So with that 1250 pump, we can use this kind of as an engine as well, where we can fight fires. It's obviously its main purpose is to reservice, but if this is on scene and we need to use it as kind of an engine, we can use that with these. And you have these handles as well, so we can actually take this out and set it down. Instead of having what we call a big spaghetti monster, is you have a bunch of hose right here and it gets all tangled and then we have to fight it. We can actually bring the whole thing out, set it down, and then bring it out from there. So it's a lot easier to move around and we don't get it all tangled up within itself. All right. Except we have, this is for our medical. So what we can use for this is just our short medical things that we have. If this is away from our engine company, which is our major rig for any medicals, and more medically aware. So this is our chute. We have 3 of these, one on each side, back, left and right side. What this does is it pulls out and allows us to quickly dump all of our water into what we call a tank, but it's mostly a swimming pool is what most people would look at it as.
You want to pull out a little bit?
Yeah, just a little bit. So this is a 4,000 gallon drop tank. What we use it for is kind of like a swimming pool, is we drop all of our water inside of it. We have it near the scene, so whatever vehicle needs water, they can actually just suction right out of this. And as they're suctioning out all that water to use on the scene, the P-26 goes away from the scene, fills up their own tank of water, 4,000 gallons, and comes back and dumps it directly back into this, and it kind of just rotates in a circle until the fire is out. Hi. Only problem is it is super heavy. I think that's enough. I'm in. All right, you ready?
Yep. We got audio?
Yep, it's audio.
Yeah, got it. All right, so in this compartment we have our extra pack. What this allows us to do is, we can have 2 people in here, but we have extra packs in case we need extra people on scene, on air. Either hydrant to ourselves, or we could also push this as well from our truck to, let's say, the Stryker 1500 or our engine. So we can do that. We also have a smaller hose that we can do the same thing. It's just a lot easier. It might not need as much water. So we can put this up to, let's say, the ribs would be a good way to resurface them with that. This is for resurfacing the vehicles. So we can connect with ours and connect it to a different vehicle, and we push our water, our 4,000 gallons of water, into whichever vehicle we need to. That would be probably best on the ribs, the P-34s, because of their smaller tank. But definitely we have the options with these 5-inch hoses, because we need mass amounts of water for, let's say, our Striker 1500 needs 1,500 gallons. You know, we don't want to deliver a small amount of water because they're already putting out way more than that. So if we can give them more water faster, that's the way we're going to go. A lot of fire trucks are actually pretty similar. So you go from an engine to something like this. We have all these the same as any civilian department does. They already have a large diameter handle. So it's just different configurations of the same thing. So for the most part, they know exactly what we're doing and what hose line we're pulling. We train a few times a year with as many departments as. All right. So with our mutual aid agreement, obviously on the north side, we don't have a whole lot of hydrants. So that's where this thing comes into play. Huge is where we don't need hydrants right next to whatever fire that we have. We can bring this to it, and with 4,000 gallons, which is the biggest in the area, we can supplement fire trucks faster and more efficiently due to our 1250 pump as well. This just makes it safer for both ourselves and the other firefighters, and if there's any people inside the house or in the area, we can make it safer for them too.
Pretty clean. Try to keep it clean.
Hey.